And we are live. Grand rising to everyone. Grand rising, Amenti.
Grand rising to you, Sister P, and grand rising to everyone as well who is tuned in. Can you feel the energies?
Oh,
Woo!
yeah. The energies are undeniable. I mean, you would have to be a rock not to be feeling what is going on in the cosmos now. I think everybody's feeling it. They're feeling it at the level that they are at currently.
Mm,
Let me just apologize to everyone. Um, it seems that the heart chakras and the throat chakras of the dogs and the roosters in the neighborhood is being activated. I think what they're doing is strengthening what we are about to share. So
Ashe.
please accept apologies beforehand for their interventions. All right. So here is the thing. Here is the thing. We are going through a very powerful time from a cosmic perspective. And those of us who can feel would say it's a quickening. Is that what you would describe it as, a quickening for this birth?
Definitely.
And it's so
It's a
interesting that, go ahead.
exactly that. It is the quickening, it is the birth, it is the rebirth, it is the release, it's everything happening all in one primordial space. And it's
That's it.
right with the energy of opportunity and creation as well.
Absolutely. And it's spring equinox. So we know that the energies are potent. Now, what is being added to the spring equinox was the full moon yesterday, the eclipse, and some other
Yeah.
conjunctions that are coming into play, that are nudges from the universe that we need to be still, understand what is happening, and use this energy as a pivot point to shift and step into our highest potential through the release of trauma.
Ashe.
And that is why we are here. For the two ladies that are here, they say by divine chance. Yes, it is by divine chance because I made this video unlisted so that we could record it and share it after. But the divine has a bigger plan. And so you are
Always.
here, and you are here bringing your energy. So thank you for being here and welcome. Now, Amenti, what is interesting, guys, Amenti is the person who explained to me what I was going through in February when I explained that I just felt lost. I felt like I belonged nowhere. I felt almost abandoned. I felt like I was alone. And she goes, "Oh, yeah, that was the void." I'm like, "The void?" I said, "Yeah, the void sound like how it did feel to me." But exactly after the void came a rush of inspiration to action. Like I had to get these things out. It was urgent, blah, blah, blah. And I couldn't understand it either. But you know what? I get the information and I created this and I created the flyers and I put them out. What I didn't
Mm,
realize that the same quickening, I call it a quickening, that I was experiencing, a mentee was also experiencing. And Miss Ciara put out this container and this healing session and this. And I was like, okay. When I check, a lot of other persons that are on the path also started to speed up in terms of what they thought needed to be shared with the masses.
Ashe.
So here we are. We are going to be doing the breaking the cycles around physical and sexual abuse later, Amenti and I. And so we want to invite you guys. But also, Amenti has established a whole container of healing for the melanated womb. And I wanted her to speak about that within the context of the current energies. She's also doing a survey, which we are going to place a link at the bottom of this video because it is important for us in the spiritual community to know what our needs are as melanated women, because we are going to have to step into our leadership of the new earth. We're certainly not expecting the current leadership to be leading new earth. No, 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 no. We are walking away from that. We are stepping out of that matrix. But we have to be clear as to how we want to move forward and what the issues are. So, Amenti, talk about it. Tell me
Ashe.
about that particular initiative, and then briefly we'll speak about what we're going to be doing later, because I want to also use this as a
Mm,
clarion call for all the people who are by chance seeing it and reading what we're going to share, to
mm.
join me and Amenti later at 5 p.m. Jamaica time. I don't want to say Eastern Standard Time because I don't know what the timing is now that they have jumped forward. 5 p.m. Jamaica time for breaking the cycles of physical and sexual abuse, and releasing the womb trauma of the
Mm.
melanated woman. It's $22, and you're going to pay $22 for me and Amenti to sit down for 2 or 3 hours to create healing. Guys, you know you're getting away with the whole heap, but we don't care. We want to share it. So, Amenti, I'm zipping it
Ashe.
now. Over to you.
Thank you, Sister Paula, for such a beautiful introduction. And I'm sure you can feel our energy already. And as Sister Paula said, it is an important time. It's an important time for all of us, but especially for us as melanated women. Okay. And currently, I've just put out a survey, as Sister Paula said. And this survey is really about giving us a voice and an opportunity for us to share our experiences around our health, around womb trauma, around our experiences. Because this shift that we're going through is going to be collective, and we are at the forefront of this. When we look at the melanated woman and the idea of the divine in terms of black and darkness, we are the ones that bring forth all of creation. Everything comes from the dark. When we go back to the human story, we talk about Genesis and the genes of Isis, Isis being the mother of heaven and earth, Isis being embodied and representing the black woman. So every time we have a birth of a new world, the feminine energy is brought to the front. And also when an old world is dying, the feminine energy is also part of that death. The feminine energy holds both the portal of life and death. And we, as the custodians of that energy, are really being encouraged in this time to start to activate the wisdom within our consciousness, and especially the wisdom within our womb. As sacred feminine women, especially black melanated women, our genes go back to the original divine feminine, the original woman that gave birth to the original human, right? And so within us are the genetics, the genes of divinity, the codes of Isis that are going to help bring in and bring forth the new evolved human consciousness. We have seen that, especially over, let's say, the past 20 to 30 years, there has been a lot of information around black women and what's happening with their wombs. We are the number one women to have autoimmune deficiencies or autoimmune disorders, such as fibromyalgia, such as lupus. We're also number one for having things such as fibroids and endometriosis. And through my own personal experience, I realized the emotional, mental trauma that then manifests as those illnesses within our body. This is why it's imperative for us to start not only healing, because we're not broken, but in the healing, we understand the next stage of what it means to be human. And what do I mean by that? We understand that we are not just physical vessels, that we are not disconnected from the universe, that we are not disconnected from each other. But ultimately, our mental and emotional experiences are what informs our physical body. And as Black women, our mental and emotional experiences have been trapped and caused imprints in us that have caused us to disconnect from our power. We have been pushed to the side of humanity whilst being the foundation. We have been set aside. And in doing so, our mind, our bodies, our emotions are shedding this energy. And it's coming up through our ailments. It's coming up through our trauma. So many of us have been through sexual abuse. But why? Because we hold so much sacred feminine power. And before we even come into the awakening and the awareness of what that is and how to use it, it's already being usurped. So why is it important for the melanated woman at this time to do the healing? Because as she heals her as she heals her wounds and her womb and herself, she also elevates the consciousness of her womb. The seeds that she's going to bring forth are going to be of a higher vibration. The women who are going through their menopause at this time, who are feeling as if their body is being ripped to shreds, when they come into the awareness of what's really happening into their body and recognize the power that is unfolding in them, they become matriarchs of society. They become the wise women who lead through wisdom. And as we move into this next golden age, it is about the order of Ma'at, which is all about balance, masculine and feminine energies working together in harmony. We're going to have more wombs in charge, right? Wombs in charge, in leadership. And so in order for that to happen, we have to be able to live from our hearts. We have to be able to tap into the wisdom of our wombs, and we have to be able to connect with the consciousness of the divine. As women, and especially as melanated women, we are the bridge between heaven and earth. We are the bridge between, the higher wisdom and the embodiment and materialization of divinity into the flesh. And so we have to clear our channels. We have to remember. We have to release all of the imprints, and we have to bring in fresh new codes so that we can elevate our wombs, so that they are spaces of intention, consciousness, and manifestation. We have to ensure that women who come into this realm are initiated through proper rites of passage into the understanding of who they are and their power. We have to educate our sons. We have to educate our daughters, and we have to create a community that is self-sustaining, but also has love at its core. We, those who have been holding for humanity for so long, also need to be heard, right? We have been silenced, and our pain has been pushed into our energy fields. And this is why we're coming up with all of these ailments. When you look at a womb that is infused with fibroids, it literally looks like a galaxy. It looks like a world imploding on itself. This is the power that we hold as melanated women. And I'm not just saying that it's us, but because we have the melanin in our being and in our body in this way, and we have chosen to come through these specific bloodlines that have been here since pre-Lemuria, pre-Atlantis, we've chosen to come at this time to elevate the consciousness of our wombs in order to help elevate the frequency of the planet and all of the life that's going to come through onto this planet for the next 2,000 years to come. So you came for this work. You didn't come burdened. You didn't come suffering. You came through this so that you can alchemize it and elevate it. And that is what we are here to do. So there is being a call that's being made in the universe. Another thing is we've been talking and having this discourse and conversation around time, right? And divine time is feminine time. The original calendar was called the menstrual calendar. And these are the things that I talk about in my Awakened Womb program, because it's about re-educating ourselves so that we understand who it is that we are. The only way humanity could have been taken hostage in this way is if the mothers, us, were silenced. Even in times of slavery, we were still feeding our oppressors' children. We were still nourishing all of humanity, but we had been disregarded. Those wounds need to be cleared, and we need to remember and acknowledge who we are, pick up our tools so that we can be a part of this evolution and shift for humanity. So as we return to divine time, we must return to the divine woman, and we must embody those codes of divinity so that we can be the leaders, healers, nourishers, and wisdom for humanity. There is a reason why everyone follows the things that we do, but there's also a reason why they have invested in our self-hate. As we learn to love ourselves once more, the first shall be last and the last shall be first. And this is the call. So if you know within your heart, within your soul, yeah, it's the moment now. And our grandmothers, our ancestral mothers, those are the energies that I work with. They're coming online. They're waking up their daughters. You're seeing more and more of us tapping into ancestral wisdom, feeling that call to be in nature, feeling that call to bring our gifts, sharing our gifts with humanity. This is the work that we have always done. And even though we come in this new guise, all of the ancestral energy and information run through our blood and our veins, also that we could be here at this time. So this work we are doing, it's not because we are broken. We are preparing to lead. We are preparing to be. And in order to do so, we have to release from the past. We have to let go. We have to learn the lessons, and we have to step into the embodiment of that which is here, of that which we have come to be, which is Goddess in the flesh. So I'm so excited about this.
I love it. I love it. What I love is the fact that nobody told us, but we all know.
Yes.
And even the persons that are sitting here now, one person from Australia, one person from Panama, one person from Jamaica, one person from Rwanda. Those are the ones that have identified themselves. They're all powerful Black women. This is unplanned. We just popped up, and they're Spirit has led them here to hear this in
Yeah.
real time. And it's a sign
Ashe.
to me that all of us got the call. And all of us
Ashe.
are moving towards it, you know. Everybody is moving towards it from wherever they are. Some of us are healers, some of us have the gift, and some of us are just paying attention and doing silent, private work. But everything is
Mm.
contributing to the pot, if you know what I mean,
Yes.
adding the different flavors. You know, we've
Yeah.
all
There
been
is
talking
one
about,
womb.
yeah,
Sorry.
we've all been talking about this time, and we're thinking, oh, this golden age is somewhere like 70 or 80 or 100 years from now. This is the pivot point that is going to propel us into the golden age. And we are the ones who are going to add the fuel so that the rocket will not be like Mr. Man's rocket that all falling apart every minute. It's going to go where it needs to go. It is
Ashe.
going to go where it needs to go because what we are fueling it with is love. What we're fueling it with is the passion and the wisdom of our grandmothers and our great grandmothers.
Ashe.
Literally, they are sitting around us rejoicing, them happy
They are.
because
They are.
we have answered the call of spirit at the right moment,
Mm.
and we don't know each
Ashe.
other. I don't. You see this woman here? I don't meet her yet. You know, I don't meet her in person yet. Right? You see, this morning we said we're going to do this, and we put on green. Come on. Of all the other colors that we could have put on, green, heart chakra.
And
Yeah?
that's the thing, because when we don't realize how connected we are, and this whole process, even when we look at this red moon that we had, all of it is about birthing, right? We are moving
Yeah.
from the lower self, which is governed by the lower three chakras, the root, the sacral, and the solar plexus. And the heart becomes our first transpersonal chakra. It's the first
Yes.
chakra energy space where we start to project our consciousness into the world and also connect with others. So, number one, there is a divine connection that's already happened. And number two, there is one world womb consciousness. And what I mean by that is when we're all tapped in to our wombs without even really thinking about it too hard, we're all on the similar frequency. So we will naturally magnetize and harmonize because that's the frequency of women. That's what we do. As we vibrate, we draw more to us. So yeah, it's a natural awakening that's happening, but one that we can all feel. You're
I was
muted.
muted. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Amenti. And for all of those persons who are here and are not signed up
Mm,
for the session this evening, guys, can I just tell you how important it is? It is
mm,
not just for the persons that were sexually or physically abused. It is for the
yes.
persons also who are holding space for all the women. And there are a
Mm-hmm.
number of persons like Lauren who are on that. And Lauren is there because she understands her role holding
Mm,
space. She understands that she must be there to learn, but also to hold space to transmute the pain that a lot of
shame.
women, the collective pain. So we are literally the transmuters. We are literally the ones that are midwifing the birthing process and
Mm,
transmuting all the trauma and the pain that is being held by the collective. And
a
so we
shame.
know that the small work, we call it small because it's a small container. There are no more than 12 to 14 of us there at any point in time. But we don't look at the numbers. We know the potency of that small number because we know that the ones that are there have heard the call in their spirit. There are
Mm,
millions of content creators on this platform and on Instagram, and we've promoted it on both. And there's a specific number of persons that have come to partake of the energy and to share and expand the energy.
mm,
And so we know that it is very, very specific. Also, I want to say this, the men are also invited because most of the violence and the trauma has been perpetrated by the males, and they need to be part of this healing of the divine feminine. So we invite the men that have the time to come and sit in and add the energy to balance the container that we are creating. So those are my final words. Menti, any final words? Because I know you are doing a month long. Is it a month long process or a 6 month long process? Please tell us about it.
So we have the 6 month program, and we also have an 8 weeks program. But the first one is called Rebirth, which is all about womb transformation. So learning how to connect with your womb and learning how to clear those energy imprints of abuse, trauma, disconnection. Because a lot of the stuff that we have isn't just what we've been through. Some of it is inherited. Some of it we were in the environment of our mother's womb and we inherited those stuff. When you spoke before about the fact that, some people haven't been through abuse but are holding space. Abuse is a collective imprint. It's not necessarily just personal, it's a collective imprint. And also, when we look at the womb, the men have a womb, which is their prostate. And a lot of men have also been sexually abused, as women have been sexually abused. And there is actually a spiritual soul fragmentation that happens when that takes place. So, this is why this work needs to be done. It's not so much just even about what you've been through, it's also about what's been in your lineage, and also how you prevent your children and those around you from experiencing these things. So we're all part of helping to clear this from the human collective consciousness. So with the Rebirth program, that's an 8 week program, which includes feeding the body. So we're also looking at juicing and feeding the body and wellness for the body and wellness for the womb, tapping into the womb consciousness, and also being able to learn how to tap into your own womb energy. My priestess program is a year-long program. We're coming to the end of the first year, and the women there are really about, it's all about self-mastery. So going deep into your own space and really understanding and working through all that you are. It has an ancestral element where we're tapping back into our ancestral energies. So we went to Jamaica as part of that. We're going to Crete also as part of that, tapping into the ancestry. And it's also about preparing women who know that part of their calling is to spiritually step up and lead. And it might be in business, corporate industry, but to be able to lead from their own inner authentic power and be able to manifest the vision that they've come to bring into this world, into a new world. So those are the two programs that I do, the Rebirth program and the Priestess Path. And I also, we're in talks about doing a retreat. So it will be the Rebirth program, but a 7-day retreat focused on womb healing, focused on connecting with your feminine energy and tapping into that womb wisdom. And so, yeah, that's what's happening. But to close off, I just want to say that this is, we are all reflections of each other. And even if we've come in this lifetime and we've chosen to be a woman, in previous lifetimes we've chosen to be male, the soul doesn't have any attachment to the genders. But what it does do is it chooses to manifest itself for a particular vehicle, a particular body that is connected to a particular bloodline that has certain information, so that soul can evolve and grow. So our being present to this collective healing is not about acknowledging any kind of wounding that we ourselves or our soul has received, but being part of alchemizing that energy and clearing the way so that how we relate to each other as human beings, especially with masculine and feminine energy, is one of harmony, and rather than one of taking from each other. So that is really where we're moving to, wholeness and oneness. So we invite you to be a part of the sharing. And even if you don't share with us in that moment, we just ask you to hold that consciousness of sending love and healing to the feminine and sending love and healing to the masculine, so that we can come together in oneness and create a world of balance. Ashe.
Thank you, Amenti, and for everybody that is here. I would like for you to share this with just one person who you think needs to hear it. Because maybe just one line in what was said this morning will be the trigger that awakens someone to spring into the action of moving out of their pain, out of their disempowerment, and into the new paradigm that is being prepared by the cosmos for us. Yeah. So share this with someone. And for those of you that have not registered, I highly recommend it. If this is just a 24-minute sneak preview of what is going to be presented, imagine what is going to happen. The last two sessions have been off the chain. I'm going to show something to you. I wore this blouse especially so I could show you my armpits. I've had a puffy armpit for the last 3 years. Okay, it's a lymphatic issue. I do massages, I'm doing everything. I am bouncing on my trampoline, I'm walking, I'm doing Bikram yoga, I'm doing everything. I'm telling you. You see, after last week's Saturday's event, which was the mother wound and the father wound, this went down because I have the mother wound and something cleared during that session. I am telling you guys. So the sessions are long, but they are potent. So it's not as if you're gonna go grab a cup of coffee and walk around and do the laundry and pick up clothes while you're doing the session. No. You put everything down and you focus all your attention and energy into the session and you will get everything out of the sessions. Okay? So guys, we leave you until later this evening. Thank you, Amenti, and thank you, the chosen ones who have showed up out of the blue. It
Thank
was a mistake, guys. I clicked on share. It was supposed to be pre recorded and then shared. But you see, Spirit wanted you guys to be here
Yeah.
live. So I
Yes.
thank you for answering the call. I thank you for bringing your energy, your love, your attention, your intelligence, and that ancestral wisdom that you carry within you. I thank you for bringing it here and sharing it with us because we are expanding it out into the world. Thank you.
I say.